School Board of Trustees. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not considered a public community meeting. There will be time for public participation about agenda items as indicated on the agenda. If you would like to address the board, please fill out a yellow card and get that to Mrs. Warren before you speak. Welcome, everyone. It's very excited to see all the faces. It's very exciting to see everyone's faces with us this evening. I know that you all have a reason why you're here, and so we'll get to that as soon as possible, and we will start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wow, thank you. I think that was our best pledge of allegiance that we've ever had here at a board meeting. Thank you so much. Okay, start the night off with good things from Oxbow. Mrs. Johnson.
Hi, my name is Nehemiah, and you will not believe what we are learning about in Oxbow schools. I name is Lucy, and we learned about the 5 senses: smell, sight, hearing, taste, and touch. So she used to like something. Hi, my name is Quinn. I learned that Ray Charles could not see, and he was really good at the piano otherwise, and Helen Keller couldn't see, and she sometimes wrote notes on people's hands. Hi, my name is Alyssa. Hi, my name is Alyssa. Hi, my name is Andrew.
Andrew and Alyssa were here for support for kindergarten.
My name is Ezra, and we learned about the body system. Hi, my name is Greg. We dressed up as spiritual figures from different countries. We read Susie Go and Welcome Home. Everybody was really red redhead, and I was the good grade friend.
Enoch, did you want to say anything about first grade? Okay. Joanna and Enoch were here for support. All right, thank you, first grade friends. Hang on, please. Okay, Graham.
I also learned that we dressed up in red for good luck in China. My name is Mikhail, and we learned about fairy tales and tall tales. We dressed up as fairy tales, and we had flapjacks in the morning because all of them ate also flapjacks. Hi, my name is Trevor. We learned in Chinese New Year that they celebrate with the dragon, the third grade, we learned about animal classification. We dressed up as animals.
Do you want to talk about the research that we did? About the research? Thank you, Maddie. That's very good.
And we learned about medieval civilizations, and we had a medieval feast, and we dressed up as medievals, like a lord, a lady, sir, a merchant, and a wizard. And it was fun for all of us.
You want to talk about the menu? Too? All right, Nehemiah, anything else to add to the medieval study? Okay.
The menu we had was blackberry jam on bread. There was also puff cookies with cheese and pudding.
You want to wrap it up, Nehemiah?
To wrap it up, thanks for allowing us to share all the good things happening at Oxbow. We hope you enjoy it. Have a nice evening.
Thank you for joining us and sharing everything you guys learned. The costumes were fabulous. Those were really great. Was that exciting? Did you like to dress up?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Chinese food, what was your favorite? What was your favorite?
I like the orange. I like the egg rolls.
The egg rolls? Yeah.
Remember your experience with the chopsticks? Yeah.
Well, good job. Thank you again for sharing. You guys are all welcome to stay for our board meetings. They're very exciting, I promise you. Or we'll take a little pause and you can go home with your families if you would like.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any yellow cards? That brings us to the consent agenda, which this evening includes minutes from 10/17/22, executive session minutes 10/17/22, accounts payable claims, payroll claims and distribution summary report, donations high school, human resource report, and conference requests.
Motion to approve as presented. I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Yoder, a second by Mr. Spunfeller. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed? That brings us to item 4.1. Dr. Molnar, you would like to go over some course proposals, please.
I do have Mrs. Devine with me as well.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, everyone.
President Blake, Mr. Funston, member of the School Board of Trustees, thank you for allowing us an opportunity to speak today. We're asking for your consideration for some new course offerings for next school year at Concord High School. Maybe? Okay. All right. So with our new course proposals, really looking at opportunities to expand some already fabulous programs that we got going on. Our dual credit program, looking at expanding that, giving opportunities for more credit, college credit learning opportunities for our students, not only in our early college program, but opening that up to other programs as well. Also looking at ways that we could be more efficient and leaner with some of the graduation pathway offerings that we're offering, plus kind of restructuring a few of our courses. So Ms. Devine and I are going to kind of tag teams today. I'm going to turn this over to her.
So we are going to propose one new course that's an elective. This course would be, it's called an officiating class, creates a pipeline for officiating in more than one sport. So perhaps football, baseball, we would partner with the younger teams. So like Little League and places like that. It would then work as a Fox 2 graduation pathway for this particular class.
So we are seeing a need for high school officials in the state of Indiana, junior high officials for sports. There's a true shortage, and this is hopefully a pathway into that, so we can get some more for kids in the pipeline to officiate our sports, so we can keep our sports up and running. We know how important that is to our kids and our community. Some of the other advanced placement dual credit offerings that I mentioned earlier, we are looking at offering AP Human Geo to replace, the intent would be to replace AP World History, which is not currently running. AP Human Geography is really the standard across the nation for freshman social studies AP. We were kind of the outlier in offering AP World History. That's typically a sophomore course around the nation. There's much better success rate in AP Human Geo. Kids tend to do much better, and it is a great pipeline into AP US History and then also for the first time, AP is offering AP Pre-Calculus. This is a brand new course that College Board is offering for next school year. We feel that this would be an awesome opportunity for our students to get some of those great prerequisite skills so we can launch them into AP Calculus the following year. And it is the hope that we will see higher success rate on our AP exams and long-term success offering AP Pre-Calculus. The next two are courses that are going to be offered through Ivy Tech's dual credit program. We have finally got some teachers credentialed in those, and these will be college earning opportunities through Ivy Tech. And they will be open not only to our early college program, but to all of our students willing to take those and having those fit into their schedules. So it will be college earning opportunities, not only for early college, but for all college. And then finally, career information and exploration. This is an Ivy Tech also credit earning opportunity, college credit earning opportunity. This is going to replace kind of their PCC version. This is just a new version, IBTY 106, I believe the number is. It is a career information and exploration class, very much like our PCC classes currently, but this one will be more focused for students entering college and the trades, and they will get college credit.
Okay, so the next few slides are reminders of the next courses that they're being adopted as our CTE pathway courses. So this is a reminder that next year we will be offering in the pathway for digital design, the digital design graphics course. In advanced manufacturing, it had a name change, Smart Industries, Smart Manufacturing. It's again advanced manufacturing, but the courses would be robotics design and information and digital manufacturing systems for the smart manufacturing systems, which can also offer a dual credit opportunity. For construction carpentry, a reminder or information that we are doing general carpentry next year, and then in 2 years, it's framing and finishing. These are parts of those CTE pathways. For education and educational training, the next few are child and adolescent development and teaching and learning. For human and social services, we have understanding diversity and relationships and emotions. And then to round it out, we have the biomedical pathway. This was the pathway new to our CTE offerings. The next classes are human body systems and medical interventions. And then we have for computer science. Computer science has next year topics in computer science, and then in 2 years, computer science. So that one's a little interesting because it goes principles of computer science, then topics, then computer science, but it's 3 different courses.
All right, and to finish it up, the last couple of offerings we're going to have is our apprenticeship course. This is a Box 2 earning opportunity for our students. We are going to be partnering with area businesses to offer apprenticeships for some of our students that are going to be tied to pathways. This is still really in the early stages, folks. We're just setting up our apprenticeships now. We need the course to be offered so kids can start scheduling those types of things, but as far as what apprenticeships we're offering, Mrs. Devine and several other people are working on that. Now I know that they're getting input from you as well. Finally is peer tutoring. This is something that used to be at Concord High School. We'd like to bring it back. We would like to have an opportunity to get an elective credit for our students to work with our life skills students in our life skills setting. Having our students work in our life skills to be almost a paraprofessional, if you were, but more of a teacher's assistant, working with our life skills students, helping facilitate the lessons, helping facilitating different activities throughout the day, more hands on deck. It also goes hand in hand with our greater mission of inclusion. We believe in inclusion in our building, and the more our students in our general education settings and our life skills settings can work together, the more that we can be one inclusive community, and that's really our ultimate goal, is to find some opportunities for our students that are in the general education setting and our life skills setting to work together. So that is the end of some of our course offerings that we are offering, or all of our course offerings that we're offering next year. Thank you for your consideration. Do you have any questions?
The officiating class, is there a age?
Yes, so right now, the idea would be that it would be juniors and seniors. This is a class that's starting to be offered in other local community schools, so we are kind of joining in with that. It would probably also tend to be people who have some kind of athletic experience or an interest in sports. You don't necessarily have to be the world's best athlete in order to officiate it, but you do have to have a little bit of prior knowledge. So there would be some prerequisite to it.
So not for camp.
Well,
I wouldn't understand the word.
Adult, yeah, it'd be fun to.
Any other questions?
Well, again, folks, thank you for your time.
I'm looking for a motion. Thanks, that'd be great.
Second.
I have a motion from Mrs. Davis, a second from Mrs. Towner. Any comments or questions for Dr. Molnar and Mrs. Devine? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. That brings us to 4.2, Mr. Garner, Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here tonight for actually a really exciting opportunity here. This is something that we started last year, but I'm asking your approval for a memorandum of understanding so we can work with Big Brothers Big Sisters to help establish a mentoring program at Concord Junior High. So, and I wanted to give you a little overview of that and what our involvement in there would be. So I won't read the slides to you, but basically it's trying to get creative in providing some resources for at-risk students and bring in some outside mentors to work with our kids. And so we would be responsible for providing the place and the time. It would happen during the school day, and we would be responsible for helping recruit the outside mentors that would come in and work with our kids a couple times a month, maybe weekly, potentially. Big Brothers Big Sisters, we're going to lean on them for what they're good at, which is essentially like helping us vet through the application process. They would train all the mentors and provide ongoing support throughout the program. So in order for us to work with them in that way, we need your approval on the memorandum of understanding. And I want to give you a chance to ask us any questions.
Or target number of kids that you're hoping to start with?
We talked about this year, I think as long as we can get between 15 and 20, I think that'd be a good start for this year. We had something kind of similar at CIS where we utilized some of the high school students that were a part of that, and we were able to service around 30, which was a great number. So I think that would be an awesome goal in the future. We're sort of hoping this is like one of those things that starts and it kind of like builds upon itself. It's really a win-win for us and Big Brothers Big Sisters because it's a good opportunity for folks who maybe aren't quite sure if they want the commitment of what would be to be a full Big Brother or Big Sister, to do it as like a smaller environment, like a little less commitment, and then maybe build that relationship where they can continue past. And then a lot of our kids get more access to where sometimes it's hard for parents to even go that route to have their kids participate in that program. There are a lot of logistics. So we're hoping we can kind of like help get some things out of the way for both.
there a concern for the kids that will get weekly visit for any of the instruction that they would lose?
So the kids that we would be targeting for at risk, we're hoping that this primarily can happen like during the student's lunch, so that way that's not happening. If there are situations, depending on the mentor and the number of people that we're getting, we have to like consider that. We look at the kid and the needs, because usually students that might end up in this category, this is a need that needs met for them to even be able to fully attend at some of those. And I would anticipate that weekly may not necessarily be where some of that lands. A lot of it will depend on the availability of the mentors. We want to be kind of flexible with that so as not to exclude anyone from participating in it.
So this year, you're gonna start January, February?
That's the target, yeah, depending on how well you do, there will be some mentors.
Next year, you start September?
Yes, yeah. Mhm.
August.
Yeah, we would start right away. We're not excluding, we're still looking at 8th graders, but we're really looking at the 7th grade pool first because they would roll over. We did discuss, like, well, should we still look at 8th graders? And we didn't feel like even if we just started and they're only with them for the 2nd semester, there's a potential that they'd be interested in something beyond. So we're still going to look at 8th grade. Yeah, we would start right away.
Could a high school senior jump in? And you don't have to answer that now, that's more about.
Well, I can't answer that because we had been in contact with the high school about the possibility of high school students participating in this. Our initial target was 18 and older for sure. But we see huge benefit in that kind of like positive peer role model as well. So it's one of those things I think this could build upon itself once we get it off the ground.
Motions you can move forward and present it.
A motion by Mr. Yoder, a second by Mrs. Davis. We kind of did it opposite order
Yeah.
again. If there's any comments or questions.
Mrs. Towner signed up already.
Stop volunteering me.
I just wanted to add that, we have to, the partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Club, we have to partner with these community organizations to meet the needs of our students. So thank you, Scott, for supporting this.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good, thank you, Mr. Garner.
Thank you.
Mr. Evans, that brings us to 5.1 and a financial report.
So for the financial report for the period ending September 30, 2022, as far as cash balances are concerned, most of those are about where we expect them to be. Obviously, as we've discussed on a number of occasions, we know the challenges with our operations fund relative to the circuit breaker this year. Also, another one that's a little bit substantially different from the last year, and that is the food service fund, significantly higher because of some additional revenue from the last school year, as well as some additional support carrying through for this year. As far as the unspent or unexpended appropriations, we're about where we would expect to be at this point of the year. So unless there's any questions, I would ask for approval of the report.
Jim, the education fund cash balance, we have not made our transfer to the education fund.
Motion to approve the financial reports as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Sponseller, a second by Mrs. Towner. Any comments or questions for Mr. Evans? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good, thank you, Mr. Evans.
Thank you.
That brings us to 5.2, maybe, if I can speak. Mr. Phillips, TMP agreement.
Thank you, Mrs. White. Good evening, everyone. Just two quick things tonight. First, we're approval with the, for agreement with TNT Architecture for the design and development of a boiler plant at Westside. 24,500. We did this exact project 2 years ago at Eastside. And with the new units and everything, it'd be great to actually dehumidify these rooms. The timeline, we would like to get this up to bid in January, so that, you know, they have time to get the equipment ordered and we would start.
Motion to approve as presented.
I have a motion by Mr. Yoder, a second by Mrs. Davis. Any comments or questions for Mr. Phillips? I mean, boilers are important.
They are. Not all five, but they are.
I think the teachers of Westside will be happy when they come back and it doesn't, you know, doesn't stink. in the
Right.
building.
Fresh air. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Mr. Phillips.
Okay, that's our last. Your approval tonight on the deduct change order, $51,660.06. And this is on the project east-west room refresh baseball blockhouse.
Always brings me.
He tries.
Thank you. Motion to approve as presented.
I have a motion by Mrs. Connor, a second by Mr. Sponsiller. Any comments or questions for Mr. Phillips? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. That brings us to 5.4, second reading for some board policies. Mr. Bunston.
Yep, so we're at the final stage, final reading of the board policies. One thing I'll point out when you look at that is that we have a separate policy that deals with every category of staff. So, well, it looks like about 15 there. It actually would be about 5 because we have a dress and grooming policy for classified staff, administrative staff, certified staff, and then we just repeat that process 3 times. Most of these, most of them are all recommended updates from Neola due to either state or federal legislation to keep our policies up to date and in accordance with those new laws. So I have not received any questions from the first reading, so would ask for your approval.
Motion to approve as presented. Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Davis, a second by Mrs. Towner. Any comments or questions for Mr. Bunston? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. That brings us to 5.5, classification handbook. Mr. Bunston.
Yeah, so we will bring a final proposed amendment to the classified employee handbook as well as the administrator handbook at November 21st meeting. But there's one recommendation I would like to make in that's pretty timely because the day is coming up pretty soon. So if we can look at that. Last year, we made the day before Thanksgiving a holiday for our 12-month people. It's a day off school. Things aren't operating anyways, and it was a nice gesture, I think, on the part of the district to those folks. And so I would like to recommend that we make that change permanent for those folks. And like I said, we'll bring the full handbook to you in a couple weeks, but we'd like to let them know tomorrow. So.
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Sponsiller, a second by Mrs. Towner. Any comments or questions for Mr. Bunston? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You can let them know.
Right.
They'll be very happy.
Yes, they'll be very happy.
Is there any sharing from the board this evening? Superintendent?
Yeah, so I have a few things. One, just want to thank CTA and then our negotiation team. We worked really hard. Started in early September and spent 2 months working at it and came to a tentative agreement last week. And So Wednesday, 6 o'clock, we'll have a hearing on that agreement, and then the board will look to ratify it next week on Monday. So just want to thank all the parties with, the complexity of school funding. I feel like we all walked away with a good understanding of school finance, and which I think will help us in future years. So thank everybody for that. We will be have provided some information about high school scheduling for next year. It's hard to believe that Kendra will start signing seniors up in 2 or 3 weeks, right?
November 28th.
Okay.
That's amazing.
That we start that early planning ahead. And so we will be sending out some communication to parents in the next day or two, just communicating some changes and hopefully answering some questions on that. So that will be coming soon. Marching band would just want to again thank all the parents, the staff, the students, the community. The band had great support this year and a great show. So it doesn't, the final finish does not take away from their accomplishments. They were awesome. I would also add that Mr. Spradling has promised not to start the awards portion of the program on the 21st until after we finish our board meeting. He said, as long as you people hurry it up. We'll make sure that because they will eat first and then the awards come after that. And then fall sports banquet next week, 7:30 for anybody interested in that. So I think that's it. I'm sure I forgot something.
Well, you can catch it up on going over the upcoming board meetings.
Yep. So Wednesday we'll be here for a workshop. That will be Jerry McKibben. Will be here to give us a demographic update of what's happening to our population. So that'll be on the 9th here at 6. We also will have our hearing on the tentative agreement. Then on the 14th, we hope to then come back and ratify that contract. And then on the 21st, we'll be back for regular board meeting at 6 and exec session at 5.
Very good.
Fall plays this weekend. I didn't mention that too. So just email Mr. Stutzman if you would like to take us to the fall play.
It's a clue, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for your attendance, and meeting adjourned at 6:35 p.m.